I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me. My life laid down, I'm surrendered now. I give you everything. Your goodness is coming running after me. Hey friends, David coming at you. Well, we're starting a new chapter this weekend, Skills and Drills for Worship Guitar. This episode is going to be about application. In chapter 1, we learned about the Nashville numbering system, key changes, and capo usage. This time I'm going to be covering some major and minor chord shapes and show you how to apply them to a worship song. And that's all just a prerequisite for getting ready for the actual drills, which are going to be coming out. Before I get into today's lessons, I did want to mention I had an amazing Sunday last weekend. I saw Sean Fuchs led us worship concert at Cross Mountain Church in Kerrville, Texas. So if you've ever been down I-10 West and you've seen on your right, there's a gigantic cross, 77 feet high, off this big mountain. Well, it's actually a church, and that's where this concert was for Let Us Worship. Sean's got a great show in it and a great message. His message is amazing. I did want to go ahead and mention that he is going to be playing in Washington, D.C. October 25th. And where else would anyone need to hear about Jesus Christ's message than Washington, D.C. with all that's going on and all that's wrong there? Anyway, he wanted me to remind you of Hebrews 10:24-25, which is, do not forsake us together as we spur one another on toward loving good deeds. All right, we'll take a look at these pictures. I've got a picture of the cross, and I've got a panoramic shot of the cross, Sean's band, the crowd with hands raised, and the sunset going on. It was a beautiful event. All right, now for the lesson. So the major and minor shapes, I'm going to be picking a few of those shapes up that I used in this bridge here, in the goodness of God. Here at the double dots, that was going to be a G over B, which is a 3 over 1, like that. But I'll give you the full rundown of that. This G chord, and then this E minor chord, which are going to be coming up. Now I wanted to relate to you all of these prerequisites that we're doing right now. It's kind of giving you some puzzle pieces, kind of like when you're getting ready to learn how to play the game of baseball. First you'll work on your batting, you'll work on playing catch and how to throw. And those things seem simple, but for a little leaguer or someone who's never played the game before, those things are not easy. So you have to learn how to grip the baseball, you need to look at your target, you need to step into your throw, and you need to follow through. So next we've got our Bible verse. It's Psalms 43:4. Take a look at this real quick. This episode's verse is Psalms 43:4. Then I will go to the altar of God, to God my joy and my delight. I will praise you with a lyre, which is about the closest thing to the guitar they have in the Bible. O God, my God. This is building on Psalms 33:2 and 3. We get to go praise the Lord, we get to sing to the Lord, and we get to play skillfully. So next we're going to be looking at major chord shapes, these shapes being D, F, and G. Now I'm going to show you how to identify the root in each one of these so you can play any note, and soon you'll learn how to group together these shapes around a common hand position. That way you can interchange your 1, your 4, your 5s, your 3s, and your 6s kind of in a similar place on the fretboard, so it really minimizes the amount of work you have to do flying back and forth. Now there'll be times when you want to transition to different spots on the neck, but it's also nice to be able to have a common hand position, play that 1, the 4, the 5, and the 6, the 3, without having to do a lot of leg work, and that's called playing skillfully. In this lesson, you're going to be looking at 2 of the major shapes that you can use to play lead guitar. we're going to learn how to find the root of these chords so you'll know how to move them when you play by number. First we have the D shape, and then we're going to cover the F shape. We know the D shape is kind of arrow pointing like this. So the actual point of the arrow here, that's going to be the one of that chord. Alright, so this D shape is an actual D chord. Okay. But what if we want to have an E? Well, you would just simply come up. We know a D was here. We count up D sharp, E. So now if we want an E shape, it's going to be shaped like this, where the point is going to be the 1 of that chord. So just to check it, open B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. We are in the correct position. Awesome. So now that's going to be movable. That D shape is going to be movable to any position. Now if we want to take a slightly more advanced look at this, all we're going to do is go up to the double dots and start counting from there. So let's find the true D counting at the double dots. So what we have at the double dots, B, C, C sharp, D. So if we go right here, that's going to be a D shape. Again, we're looking at the point, and the value of that letter equals the root. So now we know that we can make a major scale based on the B string, which is this one, anywhere on the neck. Awesome. Okay, the next shape we're going to look at is the F shape. Alright, this time the point of orientation is not the B string, but the top E string, which is the skinny one here. Now I'm going to be using a smaller, like a partial F shape, but just so you see how the F chord is built. We know the F on the bottom thick E string is this value, this value, this value, this value, this value, and this value. So that's the F bar. We're basically going to be taking these 3 values here. Sometimes you can use the 4 values, top values, but for this exercise, I'm just going to be taking the top 3. Alright, so now if we want an F shape F chord, basically what I just showed you is we're going to have that, that, and that. The point of orientation is going to be the top E string, which if you would notice, it's the same actually since the top and the bottom E are the same values in standard tuning. That's how we're going to find the root, since we're going to only be using the smaller, more of the electric guitar or lead guitar version of that, the top E, okay? Alright, so if we want to keep that F shape, but we want to return the value of F sharp, well, it would quite simply be moved up a half step, like that. Alright, likewise, if we wanted to play an F sharp on the top end, it'd be like this right here. Okay, so we know this because the F sharp is 2 above the double dots. So now we've got an F sharp in what kind of shape? An F shape. So now we've learned the D shape and the F shape and how we can make a major shape all over the fretboard. They're just simply movable, and anytime we go above the double dots, it's just a repeat of what we did in the first 12 frets. One more major shape I want to cover today is the G shape. Now this shape here, as you can see on the screen, is another straight line shape, but it's covering the D, G, and B strings. Now this one is super important. I went ahead and dubbed it the Eddie Van Halen chord because I first realized I could use this shape when I was learning one of his tunes. This one is super important also because if you're ever needing to do a slide or any kind of like fast movements in a straight line, this one comes in super handy. But it also fits the song that I'm going to show today, so it's right here on the G value. So you'll be looking at the G string, and whatever the value is there, that's going to be the value of the major chord. It's a beautiful sounding and easy to use chord. I use it all the time for swells and guitar solos. Alright, next will be the minor shapes lesson. I'm going to show you the E minor and the B minor. That E minor shape is going to really be basing off of the bottom E string as far as finding the root, and then this B minor shape, it can be any note, but I'm really basing that off of the fifth string, or that being the A string. So take a look. In this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at two of the most common minor shapes. Those are going to be the E minor shape and the B minor shape. Alright, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that in the E minor, the top three notes are going to be a straight line, an adjacent position, and in the B minor, they're going to be a diagonal type position. So whenever you see these shapes on the top three, you're going to know that these are minor shapes. This is E string based, and this is B string based. Alright, so let's illustrate the E minor. In the full E minor chord, we know that we're gonna have mostly open strings like that, and then the second fret of the A and the D are gonna be filled. Alright, so for this example, we're only gonna focus on the top three, which are here. Like that. Alright, so right there, if we hit these top three strings, that's gonna be an E minor. So what that means is we can easily transfer that up to here, to the double dots, and that's going to be an E minor. So that's going to be very critical. Now, you can recognize that just by looking at the first position, and we know that that guy right there is an E. So if we have the adjacent type chord like this, then our point of reference is going to be the root equals E, like that. The B minor chord is going to be slightly different, but it's still the same concept. All right. For the B minor shape, I said earlier that that was going to be the diagonal. So it's going to be just that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to the A string B note there and just build out the full bar chord so you can see it. So what we're going to be focusing on are the top three notes like that. But again, our point of reference is going to be here. The tail of the shape is actually memorized based off the A string. Alright, so for this example, what we'll want to do is illustrate an A minor. So to get an A minor, well, we know it would be two less. So the A minor would look like this. And if we transfer that to the double dots, it would be here. Alright, our point of reference is the tail. And since we know the A string and the double dots, that value of that note is A, that means we now have the A minor shape. Alright, well, these are the two minor shapes that you'll be needing to play by number in the guitar. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is relate some of these shapes that I've just taught you to that bridge that I showed you in the goodness of God in the beginning of this episode. Alright, so first off, we're going to get rooted. The progression is a 3/1, a 4, a 5, and a 1. It does that twice, and then it does that 3/1, a 4, and a 5. Then it goes to a 6, which is an E minor. So we're going to start off with that 1/3, which just means G over B. I'm going to play just the second and third strings at the double dots right here. So let me get on a camera angle. All right, so we're just going to strike a G and a B together. And I'm calling that a 3/1. These monitors out of the way. A 3/1, which is just like over here, a G chord where we forget the bottom G, go to a B. Like that. So it's the same thing, we're just basically moving it to the double dots. Alright, then we're taking what looks like a D shape, but we're only taking the two strings. So there's an arrow shape. Since my ring finger is on a C, right there, on that B string, it's a C on the B string. That's a D shape. But I'm really just taking the two notes, which, since I don't need that high E string, I only need this G and this B right here. And that's going to be my 4. And then next, I'm basically going up to the 5, like that, which is a D note. If we go in our Nashville numbering system, 1, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a D. Right there. So that's how we're going to get our 5. We're just going to combine it with the G as a pedal note. Like that. And then we're going to drop down to the Eddie Van Halen chord, which is the G on the D, G, and B string right here. So pretty, so easy. All right, so that happens twice. And then on the third time, when it goes, I give you everything, that's going to be the E minor shape. So we're covering the top 3 strings. That's the G, the B, and the E. And here it's got that kind of sad, that E minor sound, which is down here. Same thing, exact same thing, guys. You can learn this. Super easy. Sounds way different. You're going to be playing electric guitar in no time, okay? So here we go. Van Halen chord. 4, 5, and a Van Halen chord. All right, 3 over 1 again. 4, 5, and then here's your 6. And it repeats the first line again. And there's that G, that big G, the easy G right there. And then you can just embellish, which is what the rhythm guitar player is doing. Yeah, just embellishing like that. So we'll learn more shapes in the next coming episodes, and we'll start applying some drills. I think I'm probably going to switch to drills and get that kind of Peloton feel, that rundown, kind of like when you're learning Little League, you learn how to play hot box. You learn how to take the runner back in a rundown. You learn to chase them back where they came from. You don't chase the runner to home. You chase them back where they came from. But again, when you're new, you don't know these things. You got to drill it. Skills and drill. So that's what you're getting right here. Well, thanks so much, folks, and I can't wait to get the next episode cranked out. Please like and share. Tell your friends. Anybody can play worship guitar. I'm going to bring you the skills. There's a lot of content out there, but I'm going to bring you relevant skills and make you versatile. We got to be versatile, and we got to be skillful. Thanks so much for your time. Amen.